Hello, my friends. I wanted to make a comment on this case in Dallas, the Botham Jean case, where a white female police officer went into Botham Jean's, a black guy, into his apartment and killed him, shot him dead in his own house. Now, the argument that this police officer is making, I'm calling bullshit on the whole thing, and so is a lot. So is a lot of people. Why? She says it's okay. I was coming home from a long shift. I was tired. I saw the door open, thinking it's my house. I go in. I see a person. She says she thinks she's in her house. And she sees a person in her house, a black guy in her house, and she goes in with her gun drawn, thinking that there's an intruder in her house, and the guy does not follow commands, and she shoots him. Well, there's so many lies in that statement and in that allegation that she's making that I don't know where to begin. First of all, the doors in that complex where she lives, they lock themselves. They close themselves. They have a retracting mechanism that when you pull the door, it closes itself. Okay, the neighbors have testified to that. Number two, the neighbors heard her banging on the guy's door, telling him to come out. Okay, so you can't tell me that, number one, oh, you were tired and all of a sudden you got home and you miraculously went into the wrong door, and you opened the door because she doesn't have keys to the guy's door, but somehow miraculously she says that the door was open, so she, being a police officer and not, draws her gun, finds the guy, and first of all, I don't know of any police officer that leaves their door open. Okay? So, second of all, why are the neighbors saying that you were banging on the door? Okay? Why? If you're saying that you just walked in there, and if you're thinking you're in your own apartment, why are you banging on the door and calling the person to come out? If you think you're at your house, why are you banging on your own door? Okay, so the neighbor's account is the one that I'm listening to, because this woman not only she filed noise complaints against this guy a few times before. So what's more likely, that she gets home and this guy's, got the music a little loud and she's just tired and she just wants to get it over with, and she bangs on this guy's door, and when the guy opens the door, she draws a gun and pulls him in the house and shoots him dead, because she's just tired of dealing with him and his noise complaints or whatever. And she knows she's going to get away with it because she's a cop, and she can make up a story. But her story falls apart. She basically did a home invasion and did a murder one on this guy. Okay? So what happens when you do a home invasion and murder somebody in their own house in Texas? You get capital murder. That's what happens. So here's where the Dallas PD comes in their crooked ways, and their buddies in the media, in the right-wing media, go in for the kill. And they go out miraculously. They go in and they searched the guy's apartment, the guy who just got murdered in his own house. In his own house by a blind police officer, war of their own. And they find marijuana in this guy's house. As if having marijuana in your house was a capital offense that warrants the summary execution of a black man in his own house by a white police officer, or by any police officer for that matter, because when it comes to the thin blue line, back behind that line, they all cover for each other, because they're a society of what I call sovereign citizens. They do whatever the hell they want and get away with it, and the worst that can happen to them is that the evidence gets thrown out of the case. Gets excluded from being presented to a jury. So, where are the good cops here? Where are the good cops crossing that blue line and saying, hey, this is fucked up? Because first of all, what they should have done is search her apartment, number one, and search and drug test her, and see what the hell's going on. Okay? So you mean to tell me, and then they don't even, that girl didn't, that police officer didn't even spend, how much was it, 24 hours? Not even 24 hours. She bonds out on some little bail, and I'm asking myself, where are the right-wing people saying all lives matter? Where are you now? Because the reality is that not all lives matter, especially if the lives is black or Latino like us, or a mix of me, because I'm African, I'm Native American, and I'm Iberic, from the Iberic Peninsula, Spain. Do brown and black lives matter now? Yeah, because I don't see the cops. I don't see the cops in Dallas pushing for a capital. Because the way it works is the police gather the evidence, they take it to the district attorney, and the district attorney makes a decision on whether which type of charge they're gonna bring. This is a classic home invasion murder case. This is a capital offense. But since she's white and she's a cop, it's a manslaughter, and we're gonna see about it. Let's see what happens. But if it's you or me that fucks up like that and throws all these lies out, the first charge that comes out of the district attorney, of the prosecutor's office, is murder one. Murder one. Okay? This is why people are fed up with racist and corrupt police in the United States. Corrupt. Where are the good cops now? Where is this? So people say, you ask all these people, all lives matter. So you ask them, do black lives matter? Of course, black lives matter. Okay, it doesn't seem like it, because right now what you have is a public execution of a black male in his house. In his house. And the police go in there. First of all, I want to know, who supervised the searching of the guy's house, right? Because it's so fucking convenient, yes, because it makes you wonder if these people planted that evidence, marijuana. Not that it should matter. If I want to smoke weed in my house, the fuck's it to you? You don't have a right to knock on my door and shoot me and murder me. This is, and honestly, I think one of the most dangerous interactions with armed people, if not the most dangerous interaction of black and brown people, the most dangerous interaction we could have is with armed police officers, which they're all armed. Because we're 35 times more likely to get shot by a police officer if you have this color skin and this complexion than my white cohorts, my white friends. Okay? So 35-1 when compared to, that's the latest statistics that I read. So the most dangerous interaction people who look like us could have is with people that we pay tax money to protect us. Isn't that a motherfucker? And then when they do kill us, they go out their buddies and they plant evidence. You know, that's my theory. And they go out and leak it to the press and to their right-wing buddies or whatever they got in their pocket to vilify somebody for smoking marijuana. Like smoking marijuana is something vile, you know. I smoked so much weed when I was younger that it was great. It was awesome. You know, I'm just got old and I don't have a use for it. Maybe when my arthritis starts kicking my ass, I'll get on the edibles or some shit like that. But you know what I mean? It's just, I mean, it's just disgraceful and disgusting. And then you have the right-wing politicians, Ted Cruz, coming out there. Why are Democrats so quick to blame police? Motherfucker, because he broke into a neighbor's house and murdered him in cold blood. Really, motherfucker? And the people who support, this is really, really clear cut. The people who support the police in this type of matters where the police are killing people out there are just racist, period. You're just a racist asshole who supports the killing of unarmed colored people. That's all. That's who you are. You're not good. You're not Christian. That's the thing. They go out to their churches and praise their imaginary friend in the sky, hallelujah, in their taxpayer-funded churches that don't pay a goddamn, you know, and give their money, their 10% of their money. What a bunch of fucking idiots, you know? Really? Don't be a hypocrite, man. Just come out and say it. Have some fucking balls. Hey, I'm a racist dickhead and I support the killing of black people. That's what you do. That's it. You know? Don't hide behind some politics or nothing. Don't be a fucking pussy. You know? Say it. That's all right. We already know you're fucking trash, so it's all right. So this is what's going on in this country. This is what's going on. And the saga continues. Unfortunately. Disgustingly. You know? And again, you know, people... I see mothers having to tell their children when they go out at night to go have a good time in town if their children are brown. It's like, just like that. A friend of mine just told her son, it's like, hey, be careful. You know, brown boys get in trouble way easier than white boys. Just like that, she had to tell her son. That is disgusting that you have to tell your son that when he goes out in town to have a good time with his girlfriend or his boys or whatever, simply because, you know, your kid's got brown skin. Ain't that a motherfucker?